This popular Instagram model was shot 40 times inside an Uber taking her home after clubbing. The base struck through the walls of Atlanta's most exclusive nightclub. At 2:15 a.m. on May 30, 2023, Tisha Bruley posted her final Instagram story, gold sequins catching the light as she smiled into the camera. "Heading home, loves. See you tomorrow." No one knew that this was going to be her last Instagram story, because for her, tomorrow never came. Security cameras silently recorded what would become the final 7 minutes of Tisha's life. The footage shows a black sedan pulling away from Atlanta's most exclusive nightclub, carrying the woman known to hundreds of thousands as Tavi Badi. Her apartment waited just blocks away, so close she could have walked it in 10 minutes. But she never made it home. 4 blocks from the club, at a deserted intersection bathed in the harsh glow of a single streetlight, time seemed to slow down. The Uber stopped at a red light. A dark SUV eased alongside. Then, in a flash of violence so extreme it defies comprehension, the night erupted. 1 shot would have been murder. 5 would have been an execution. 10 would have been overkill. They fired 40 bullets. 40 rounds tore through metal and glass, each bullet a deliberate choice to continue pulling the trigger long after their target had fallen. The security footage shows the SUV lingering for 3 seconds after the gunfire stops, just long enough for the shooter to confirm their work was complete. By the time first responders arrived, Tisha's phone was still receiving notifications.
Ambushed. That was an Uber driver. She was in an Uber, and the Uber driver was unscathed.
And as police work to piece together the motives behind the shooting, neighbors remain on edge.
It's scary. It's becoming very scary to live here.
Comments poured in on her final story as followers asked about her night, unaware they were sending messages to a woman who would never read them. The disconnect is scary. Digital life continuing while physical life had ended. The Uber driver, bleeding from his shoulder and arm, could only tell police one thing through his shock. They knew exactly who they wanted. 2 blocks. That's how close Tisha was to her front door. 2 blocks from the security system she'd installed after receiving disturbing messages from an anonymous account weeks earlier. 2 blocks from safety. What turns a beloved influencer into a target? What transforms admiration into something deadly? And most disturbingly, how did her killer know exactly where she would be? The digital breadcrumbs we leave behind us create a map of our lives, visible to anyone willing to look closely enough. For most of us, this poses little danger. But for Tisha Bruley, those breadcrumbs became a trail that led straight to that red light, that intersection, that moment when everything ended in a hail of bullets. Have you ever shared your location online without thinking twice? Have you ever posted about your routine, your favorite spots, your daily habits? If so, you've created the same kind of map Tisha did. Welcome to Crazy Dark Files. I'm your host, and today we're diving into the case that's forcing social media users everywhere to question, who's really watching? And what do they want? In the next couple of minutes, we'll trace Tisha's rise from fashion-loving Georgia native to influential personality, examine the events leading to that fatal night, and uncover the unique dangers facing those who build their lives in the public eye. This isn't just another true crime story. It's a warning about the world we've created, where the line between follower and stalker can blur in an instant, and where sharing your life might just cost you everything. This isn't just a story about a crime. It's about the intersection of digital fame and physical vulnerability, a cautionary tale for anyone who shares their life online. It's about a vibrant young woman whose voice was silenced far too soon, and the questions her death forces us all to confront about privacy, security, and the true cost of connection in our hyper-visible world. Born on May 21, 1992 in Decatur, Georgia, Tisha Bruley grew up in a community that valued creativity and self-expression. Friends from her early years describe a young woman who always had an eye for fashion and a natural ability to connect with others. Long before Instagram existed, Tisha was the friend everyone turned to for style advice and authentic conversations. Even in high school, Tisha could take the most basic outfit and transform it into something magazine-worthy, recalls a childhood friend. She didn't need expensive brands. She had vision and confidence that made everything she wore look intentional. This innate talent for fashion remained a personal passion until 2016, when Tisha created her first Instagram account under the name Tavi Baddie. The moniker combined a shortened version of her name with the slang term baddie, internet shorthand for a confident, stylish woman who commands attention. The name perfectly encapsulated what would become her brand: accessible glamour with an unapologetic edge. Unlike many aspiring influencers who burst onto the scene with professional photo shoots and carefully constructed personas, Tisha built her following organically. Her early content featured mirror selfies in well-coordinated outfits, honest reviews of affordable beauty products, and behind-the-scenes glimpses into her daily life in Decatur. This authenticity resonated with viewers tired of the polished perfection that dominated social media. What made Tavi different was how real she kept it, commented one longtime follower. She'd show us the outfit fails along with the wins. She talked about growing up without much money and how she learned to look expensive on a budget. That's why we trusted her recommendations. By 2018, Tisha had amassed over 50,000 followers, a significant milestone that opened doors to brand partnerships and sponsorship opportunities. Yet even as her platform grew, she maintained the direct communication style that had attracted her initial audience. She responded personally to comments, incorporated follower suggestions into her content, and regularly hosted Q&A sessions that covered topics ranging from fashion advice to personal growth. Tisha's content evolved beyond fashion to include lifestyle vlogs, cooking demonstrations, and candid discussions about navigating life as a young Black woman in America. She spoke openly about overcoming insecurities, building financial independence, and the importance of community support. These multi-dimensional aspects of her content attracted a diverse audience that spanned demographics. Tavi wasn't just showing us clothes, she was showing us possibilities, wrote one follower in a tribute post. As a plus-size Black woman myself, seeing her confidence made me believe I deserved to take up space too. She changed how I see myself. By early 2023, Tisha had built a community of over 300,000 followers across platforms. Her Instagram account featured a colorful grid of outfit inspirations, beauty tutorials, and glimpses into Atlanta's vibrant social scene. Her TikTok videos regularly went viral, particularly her Glow Up Guide series that combined practical fashion tips with empowering messages about self-worth. What truly distinguished Tisha in the crowded influencer landscape was her refusal to create artificial boundaries between her online persona and her authentic self. While many content creators present highly curated versions of their lives, Tisha invited followers into genuine moments, celebrating victories, processing disappointments, and navigating everyday challenges. Most influencers make you want what they have, noted a social media analyst who studied Tisha's account growth. Tisha made you comfortable with what you already had, while inspiring you to dream bigger. That's a rare quality that can't be manufactured. Industry insiders noted that Tisha's engagement rates consistently outperformed accounts with similar or larger follower counts. Her comment sections buzzed with meaningful conversations rather than generic compliments. Brands sought partnerships with her, not just for her reach, but for the trust she had established with her audience. In her final months, Tisha had begun developing her own fashion line focused on versatile pieces for diverse body types. She documented the learning curve of entrepreneurship with characteristic transparency, sharing both the exciting milestones and frustrating setbacks. This project represented the natural evolution of her influence, moving from recommending products to creating them with her community's needs in mind. "I'm building this for us," she wrote in one of her final posts, For everyone who's ever felt like fashion wasn't made with them in mind, we deserve clothes that celebrate who we are. The cruel irony of Tisha's story lies in its timing. Her life was cut short just as her influence was expanding beyond social media into tangible change within the fashion industry. The community she built continues to share her content, preserving the legacy of a woman who used her platform not just to showcase style, but to foster genuine connection in an increasingly disconnected digital landscape. May 30, 2023 began as a celebration for Tisha Bruley. The date marked the 9th anniversary of her move to her own apartment in Decatur, a milestone she commemorated each year as her Independence Day. On her morning Instagram story, she shared a mirror selfie with the caption, "9 years of making my own rules. Tonight, we celebrate." Throughout the day, Tisha posted updates about her preparations for the evening ahead. She filmed a Get Ready With Me video showcasing her makeup routine and the process of selecting her outfit, ultimately deciding on a gold sequin dress she described as giving main character energy. Her excitement was palpable as she prepared for a night out with 3 close friends who appeared briefly in her videos. By 10:30 p.m., Tisha and her friends arrived at Velvet Room, an upscale nightclub in Atlanta known for its exclusive atmosphere and celebrity clientele. Security camera footage from the venue's entrance captured their arrival, with Tisha pausing to take photos with 2 fans who recognized her outside. Once inside, Tisha continued documenting the evening, posting stories of champagne toasts, dance floor moments, and brief interviews with her friends about their favorite memories from the past 9 years. "This is what freedom looks like," she captioned one video, panning across the crowded dance floor before turning the camera back to her smiling face. According to timestamps on her social media posts and credit card transactions, Tisha remained at Velvet Room until approximately 2:15 a.m. Her final post from inside the club showed her laughing with the caption, "Perfect night with perfect people, heading home to sleep like royalty." Security footage shows Tisha exiting the club alongside her friends. After brief hugs and goodbyes on the sidewalk, her companions entered a rideshare vehicle heading in the opposite direction from Tisha's apartment. Standing alone under the club's awning, Tisha pulled out her phone and opened the Uber app. The rideshare request was logged at 2:17 a.m. Within 3 minutes, a black 2019 Toyota Camry arrived, driven by 38-year-old Marcus Jennings, a part-time Uber driver who had been working with the platform for approximately 7 months. Jennings later told investigators that Tisha confirmed her name before entering the vehicle, following standard rideshare protocol. The drive from Velvet Room to Tisha's apartment should have taken approximately 12 minutes. Traffic camera footage tracked the vehicle's movement through the first half of the journey without incident. Jennings reported that Tisha was quiet during the ride, looking at her phone and occasionally typing, likely posting the final Instagram story that would appear on her account. At 2:26 a.m., 9 minutes into the journey and just 2 blocks from Tisha's apartment building, the Uber stopped at a red light at the intersection of Candler Road and Memorial Drive. Traffic was minimal at this hour, with only 2 other vehicles visible on security footage from a nearby 24-hour convenience store. The light remained red for 42 seconds. During this time, a dark-colored SUV with tinted windows and no visible license plate pulled alongside the Uber on the passenger side, directly next to where Tisha was seated. For approximately 7 seconds, both vehicles remained stationary at the red light. What happened next occurred with shocking speed. At 2:27 a.m., the passenger window of the SUV lowered. Store security footage, though grainy, captured the muzzle flashes as gunfire erupted. The shooting lasted approximately 20 seconds, an eternity in a moment of violence. The light turned green as the final shots were fired. The SUV accelerated through the intersection and turned right, disappearing from camera view. Jennings, wounded but conscious, managed to drive the bullet-riddled Uber approximately 200 feet before pulling to the curb and calling 911. Emergency services arrived within 4 minutes. Paramedics found Tisha unresponsive in the back seat. Despite immediate medical intervention, she was pronounced dead at the scene at 2:38 a.m. just 21 minutes after leaving the nightclub and mere blocks from the safety of her home. The night that began as a celebration of independence ended as a shocking execution that would leave investigators with more questions than answers, and a community of followers mourning a voice silenced far too soon. The forensic analysis of the crime scene revealed the horrifying extent of the violence directed at Tisha Bruley. Investigators recovered 40 shell casings from the street, all from the same weapon, a semi-automatic handgun. The sheer number of rounds fired indicates an attack of extraordinary intensity and deliberation. This wasn't a random shooting or a robbery gone wrong. The gunman emptied an extended magazine and then reloaded to continue firing. Ballistics experts noted that 37 of the 40 bullets struck the vehicle, with 28 hitting the rear passenger area where Tisha sat. The precision of the shots, despite being fired in rapid succession, suggests the shooter had experience handling firearms. The medical examiner's report confirmed that Tisha suffered multiple gunshot wounds, primarily to her upper body and head, causing immediate and catastrophic injuries that left no chance of survival. Marcus Jennings, the Uber driver, provided crucial testimony despite his injuries. "I never saw their faces," he told detectives from his hospital bed. "The SUV pulled up and I thought nothing of it. Then I heard the first shot and glass breaking. I ducked down as much as I could while still trying to control the car." Jennings suffered gunshot wounds to his right shoulder and arm but managed to drive away from the intersection before calling emergency services. Doctors credit his quick thinking with saving his own life, though he continues to deal with both physical and psychological trauma from that night. A night shift worker at the convenience store across the intersection witnessed the shooting while taking out trash. "The shots just kept coming," he reported. "I dropped to the ground behind the dumpster. By the time I looked up, the SUV was already turning the corner." His testimony confirmed the vehicle was a dark-colored SUV, possibly navy blue or black, with no front license plate and windows tinted well beyond legal limits. The location of the attack adds a particularly tragic dimension to Tisha's murder. Her apartment building was visible from the intersection where she was killed, just 2 blocks and approximately 90 seconds away by car. Security footage from her building's lobby shows the doorman reacting to the sound of distant gunshots, stepping outside momentarily before returning to his post, unaware that the intended resident would never arrive. The proximity to safety raises painful questions about timing and fate. Had the light been green instead of red? Had Tisha left the club 5 minutes earlier or later? Had the route taken one different turn? The outcome might have been entirely different. Instead, her life ended within view of the home she had proudly maintained for 9 years, the sanctuary she had been celebrating that very night. Investigators are exploring multiple theories regarding motive. The precision and intensity of the attack bear hallmarks of a targeted hit, rather than random violence or a crime of opportunity. Yet Tisha had no known connections to criminal activity, no documented threats, and no obvious enemies. Her public profile as an influencer, however, created a unique vulnerability. Thousands of people knew her routines, her favorite locations, and could track her movements through her regular social media updates. This story raises important questions about safety in our increasingly public lives. What precautions do you take when using rideshare services? Do you share your location or tag venues in real time on social media? Have you ever felt vulnerable because of information you've shared online? Share your thoughts and safety tips in the comments below. Your experience might help protect someone else. The Decatur Police Department responded to the shooting with their major case unit, securing a 6-block radius around the crime scene within minutes of the first 911 call. The lead investigator assigned to the case described the initial scene as methodical chaos, a contradiction that aptly captured both the calculated nature of the attack and the frantic response it necessitated. We had officers collecting shell casings, others canvassing for witnesses, and a team working to obtain all available security footage, the detective explained in a press briefing 3 days after the murder. When a crime occurs at that hour, we're racing against time to gather evidence before morning traffic and daily activities potentially compromise the scene. Evidence collection yielded the 40 shell casings, all from a 9mm handgun, along with glass fragments, bullet fragments, and trace evidence from both vehicles. The Uber, riddled with bullet holes, provided valuable ballistic information about trajectory and shooter position. Forensic technicians recovered partial fingerprints from a shell casing that had ejected onto the street, though these prints were insufficient for identification through automated database matching. Digital evidence became a central focus of the investigation. Detectives obtained Tisha's phone records, social media data, and location history. The rideshare company provided detailed information about the trip, including the exact route and timing. Traffic cameras captured partial images of the suspect vehicle, though the lack of a visible license plate complicated identification efforts. Despite this wealth of evidence, investigators faced significant challenges. The attack occurred in an area with limited high-resolution security coverage. The suspect vehicle, determined to be either a Chevrolet Tahoe or GMC Yukon, manufactured between 2018 and 2022, matched over 3,800 vehicles registered in the greater Atlanta area. Without a license plate or clear images of the occupants, narrowing down this list proved daunting. Another challenge emerged from Tisha's extensive online presence. Detectives needed to review thousands of comments, messages, and interactions across multiple platforms to identify potential threats or concerning patterns. This digital forensic work required specialized skills and significant time investment. "We're pursuing multiple angles simultaneously," a detective stated. "We're examining Ms. Bruley's personal relationships, professional connections, and online interactions. We're also investigating whether this could be a case of mistaken identity or random violence, though the evidence suggests otherwise." The community response to Tisha's murder was immediate and overwhelming. In Decatur, residents organized a candlelight vigil that drew over 500 attendees to the intersection where she was killed. Local businesses displayed her photo with black ribbons, and a memorial of flowers, notes, and photographs grew outside her apartment building. Online, the reaction transcended geographic boundaries.
Usually when you hear gunshots, it's just like pow, 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 and that's over with quick little 2 seconds, but that lasted for about a good 20 seconds. It sounded like about 40 shots. It was 2 guns, may have been 3.
Justice for Tavi trended nationally for 3 consecutive days. Followers transformed her comment sections into digital memorials, sharing how her content had impacted their lives. Fellow influencers used their platforms to demand answers and keep attention focused on the case. Tisha's family, though intensely private in their grief, released a statement through their attorney. "Our daughter brought light to everyone she met, both in person and through her online community. She worked tirelessly to build a platform that uplifted others. We are devastated by her senseless murder and determined to see justice served. We ask anyone with information, no matter how insignificant it might seem, to come forward." The family established the Tisha Bruley Foundation, dedicated to promoting safety awareness for social media influencers and supporting victims of violence. They also offered a $50,000 reward for information leading to an arrest and conviction, a sum that was quickly matched by donations from Tisha's followers, bringing the total reward to $100,000. As weeks passed without an arrest, the investigation continued. For Tisha's loved ones and her online community, the quest for answers and justice had only just begun. Tisha Bruley's murder illuminates a disturbing reality of the digital age. The same visibility that builds careers can create unprecedented vulnerabilities. Social media influencers operate in a paradoxical space where success depends on accessibility and authenticity, yet these very qualities can expose them to danger. The influencer business model requires sharing aspects of your life that previous generations kept private: location check-ins, home tours, daily routines. These create engagement but also provide a blueprint for anyone with harmful intentions. This visibility creates what security experts call asymmetrical familiarity. Followers develop a sense of intimate knowledge about an influencer who knows nothing about them. This one-sided relationship can foster parasocial attachments where boundaries become blurred. While most followers maintain healthy appreciation, This asymmetry creates opportunities for those with malicious intent. The risks extend beyond physical safety. In 2021, fitness influencer Brittany Dawn Davis faced a stalking situation after inadvertently revealing identifying features of her neighborhood in background footage. Though she never disclosed her address, a follower triangulated her location using architectural details and geotagged posts from previous years. The stalker began appearing at her regular workout locations before eventually approaching her home. Beauty content creator James Charles experienced a home invasion in 2019 after a fan determined his address through a combination of real estate records and background details visible in his videos. The intruder, who had sent hundreds of unanswered messages, claimed they just wanted to meet Charles, demonstrating the dangerous entitlement that can develop through parasocial relationships. Perhaps most relevant to Tisha's case is the 2016 murder of Christina Grimmie, a YouTube musician shot by an obsessed fan who tracked her to a performance venue. The killer had developed a fixation through her online content despite never having direct interaction with Grimmie. A stark reminder that threats can emerge from the anonymous mass of followers without warning signs. What makes these cases particularly challenging is that the normal red flags may not appear, notes former FBI behavioral analyst Terrence Wilkins. Traditional stalking often escalates through direct contact, giving victims some awareness of the threat. With influencers, the first physical encounter can be the attack itself. The location-sharing aspects of influencer culture create particular vulnerabilities. Real-time posting, like Tisha's stories from the nightclub, effectively broadcasts a person's location to thousands or millions of followers simultaneously. Even delayed posting can reveal patterns that make someone's movements predictable. We advise clients to implement a 24-hour delay on location-specific content, explains Samantha Torres, founder of Influencer Protection Services, a security consultancy for digital creators. This simple buffer creates crucial separation between where you are and what you're sharing. Platform responsibilities remain a contentious issue in this evolving landscape. While major platforms offer privacy controls and location masking options, these features often conflict with algorithms that reward real-time, location-specific content with greater visibility. The platforms benefit from authentic, immediate content that drives engagement, but they've been slow to acknowledge how their incentive structures can compromise creator safety. Some influencers have begun implementing personal security protocols. For emerging influencers without these resources, the challenges are greater. Many lack the financial means for security services while facing pressure to share more to build their following. This creates a particularly vulnerable period where visibility is increasing, but protective measures remain limited. Tisha's case represents our worst fears. She was doing what thousands of influencers do daily, sharing her celebration, connecting with her audience. The tragedy highlights that for digital creators, the boundary between public persona and personal safety requires constant, vigilant management. Tisha Bruley's tragic story serves as a sobering reminder of the vulnerabilities we all face in an increasingly connected world. While her case highlights the unique risks of being a social media influencer, the lessons extend far beyond that, offering valuable insights into rideshare safety, social media privacy, and the importance of community vigilance. By reflecting on these lessons, we can take steps to protect ourselves and others while still living freely. Rideshare services have become a convenient and often necessary part of modern life, but they also come with risks. Tisha's decision to take an Uber home was a responsible one, yet her tragic fate underscores the importance of additional precautions. Tisha's case also highlights the dangers of oversharing on social media, a habit that extends far beyond influencers. Whether you have 100 followers or 1 million, sharing real-time updates or personal details can expose you to risks. One of the most heartbreaking aspects of Tisha's story is how close she was to safety. Her apartment was just 2 blocks away, yet the attack occurred in a moment of vulnerability. This underscores the importance of being aware of your surroundings, even in familiar areas. Communities also play a vital role in increasing safety. Neighborhood watch programs, better street lighting, and accessible security cameras can deter crime, and provide critical evidence when incidents occur. Supporting local initiatives that prioritize safety can make a tangible difference. Living freely while taking necessary precautions is a delicate balance. Tisha's life was a celebration of independence and joy, and her story reminds us that safety measures don't have to diminish that. Simple habits, like sharing your location with a trusted friend or being mindful of what you post online, can coexist with a vibrant, fulfilling life. Tisha's story is a tragedy, but it also serves as a call to action. By adopting safer practices, fostering community vigilance, and finding a balance between freedom and caution, we can honor her memory and work toward a safer future for everyone. What steps will you take to protect yourself and those around you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice could make a difference. Tisha Bruley's life, though tragically cut short, left an indelible mark on her community and the countless people who followed her journey online. In the wake of her death, her family, friends, and fans have come together to honor her memory and ensure her story continues to inspire change. In Decatur, Tisha's community organized a permanent memorial at the intersection where she was killed. A mural now stands there, depicting her radiant smile and the words, "Forever in our hearts." Local artists collaborated with her family to create the piece, which has become a place for reflection and remembrance. Her apartment building also dedicated a small garden in her honor, symbolizing the beauty and positivity she brought to those around her. The Tisha Bruley Foundation, established by her family, has become a beacon of hope and advocacy. The foundation focuses on promoting safety awareness for social media influencers and educating the public about the risks of oversharing online. It also provides resources for victims of violence, including counseling services and financial support for families navigating similar tragedies. The Foundation's work has already reached thousands, sparking important conversations about digital safety. Tisha's content continues to resonate with her followers, who describe her as a source of joy, inspiration, and authenticity. Her videos and posts, filled with positivity and encouragement, remain a testament to her vibrant personality. Many fans have shared how her story has motivated them to take their own safety more seriously, proving that her influence extends far beyond her lifetime. Through her legacy, Tisha's story has raised critical awareness about the unique challenges influencers face and the importance of balancing visibility with safety. Her memory lives on, not only in the hearts of those who loved her, but also in the lives she continues to impact. Tisha Bruley's story transcends the typical true crime narrative. It forces us to confront uncomfortable realities about our digital world, where connection can lead to vulnerability and visibility can become a double-edged sword. Behind the shocking headlines of Instagram influencer shot 40 times was a vibrant 26-year-old woman with dreams, talents, and a community that adored her. As we reflect on this tragedy, we're reminded that the line between our online and offline lives has blurred beyond recognition. The personas we create, the moments we share, and the communities we build online have real-world implications that we're still learning to navigate. Tisha's story isn't just about the dangers of social media or the risks of rideshare services. It's about a life cut short and the ripple effects that continue to impact countless lives. It's about the human cost of violence and the collective responsibility we share in creating safer communities, both online and off. If Tisha's story impacted you, please hit the like button and subscribe to Crazy Dark Files for more in-depth true crime stories. What other safety measures do you think could have prevented this tragedy? Share your thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more thrilling crime stories just like this.